Hey guys, Micah from blackbearcustomkydex. Today we've got a video on the sheaths I've just completed for these 3 SOG knives. These are all going to my good buddy Michael, otherwise known as Mr. Rexu. Have a nice day. And you guys can go check out his YouTube, his Instagram. He's probably on some other social medias, but I would definitely recommend going and checking him out. I love his knife review videos. He takes a very unique approach to the review process as compared with some of maybe the better known ones that you might be familiar with. And the knives that he chooses to review are just, I feel like they're more off the beaten path, but he's got a certain style and taste that always kind of hooks me into watching. So definitely go check him out, guys. But he's been a regular customer of mine for a couple years now, I think. And this, geez, I've lost track, honestly. I think we've probably done, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 projects, something like that. And every time it's, you know, 1, maybe 2 knives. So I'd say we've probably done, you know, somewhere between 15 and 20 knives now. And he's got kind of a standard setup. So this is just a very simple setup that we go for. Almost always pancake style sheaths. In fact, every one that I've done for him have been pancakes, I believe, meaning it's 2 pieces sandwiched around the knife and you've got eyelets on both the spine and cutting edge sides of the blade. In addition, he opts for what I call a leather drop loop, which means that it's sort of in a fixed position. It's not attached to any kind of D-ring. It's just sort of a loop that's fixed to the sheath, and it's got that kind of stiffness that you want so that it's not swinging around, articulating like a dangler will. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Danglers are great, but sometimes you don't want that articulation. So this is just an alternative form of getting the handle lower so that you don't have to do a weird chicken wing elbowing thing when you draw these kind of mid to large size knives. So it's a comfortable draw. It locates in a comfortable ride height. Your shirt doesn't obscure it or get in the way. You can kind of hang your shirt right around here behind the knife. You know, it just works out. So in any case, this is the style he goes with. And what we always do is go with a little mounted plate to the back of the sheath. That just allows you to change the ride height a little bit and gives a natural hang to the sheath. The other thing I really love about the plate versus directly attaching it to the sheath, the dangler or the drop loop, whatever you're talking about, is that the plate allows you to switch sides. It's an ambidextrous setup, and that means that if you ever decide to switch sides, or if you ever sell your sheath to somebody who is left-handed, you can easily bolster the sale value of your knife by offering a custom quality sheath that's already ready to rock and roll in a left-handed configuration. So that's a really important thing, I think. And furthermore, if you ever decide to do some other kind of carry setup with your knife, you can just take these 4 screws out, remove the plate, and boom, carte blanche. You can start over with whatever you're looking to do. And as long as you got a little bit of know-how or hooked up with somebody who does, you can make that sheath into something completely different. So, all right, so here we go. We've got, from top to bottom, we've got the SOG Demo, the SOG Tsunami, and the SOG Vulcan. These are all very different knives, and they're all reminiscent of some other things. And I'd really like to really briefly highlight some of the things I like about these. Let's start here with the small one. So the Vulcan, this is the first time I've ever played with the Vulcan. It's really cool. It's a Tonto. It's got a recurve. But at the same time, if you look at it from here up, it's got a very kind of like, I don't want to sound too nationalistic here, but it's got a very U.S. military fighting knife kind of feel to it, while also having a Tonto, which is incredibly effective stabbing point, and a recurve, which does help with some of your slicing and cutting type tasks. So this is just kind of a feel-good knife. It's very grippy. I assume this is G10 or maybe FRN or something along those lines. It just feels really nice. I'm going to let Michael do the reviewing because that's his bag, and I won't go into any other details, but safe to say I really enjoyed handling this knife. I think it's a really attractive design, and SOG as a company has been putting out a lot of different things. This in particular interests me because it's just so different from all the other stuff that I've handled from them. So I'd say this kind of more closely patterns like maybe a Hogue knives or something like that. So anyway, I really like this one. This is the SOG Vulcan. So the sheath, obviously all the same setups, Got a nice click in. No rattle, no play. The rattle you heard there was the leather smacking against the handle. Let me control that. And at the same time, ballistic one-handed draw. Even facing almost straight up, you can still clearly get that to pop off. So I really like how this one's functioning. All right, going over to the Tsunami. Again, we've got a Tonto point, but this one has a little subtle curvature along the blade. This is a lot closer to what, you know, something like a wakizashi, a traditional Japanese sort of the secondary blade. Now, what I really love about this one, I do love the style of blade. What I love about this one is that the ricasso here, or sorry, not the ricasso, the bolster, this area here, you have, I think this is metal. It is metal, as opposed to having the whole thing be this kind of rubberized handle material, TPU or whatever it is. But a lot of the time when you see like in cold steels knives or in trying to think of another good Vulcan, even some of those where you've got a really nice rubberized handle, and I do love those blades, by the way. The difference is with this bolster being metal, it's safer to use. You know, the whole idea of having a garter or bolster is to protect your fingers from either slipping up onto the blade, or in the event that you're in some kind of knife duel, having another blade come down past your cutting edge and go into your fingers. So this would protect your fingers obviously way better than just loose hanging rubber nub that can be flexed and whatnot. So that's one thing I really appreciate about this one. That little wedge accident I just had was because I was inserting the knife like this, not realizing it. I just kind of got it caught, but it does move in and out very freely and has a nice click in. No rattle, no play. Again, that's just the dangler. Very secure retention, and you can get that kind of ballistic one-handed draw. So this one's great. All right, and lastly, we've got the SOG demo. Now this one, this is my favorite of the three because some of my favorite knives from SOG are the Seal Pup Elite. And if you're familiar with those at all, you recognize the similarities between the handle shape, maybe even the material that's used. But again, we have, instead of a rubber or even an FRN, which is a type of plastic essentially, it's fiberglass reinforced nylon is what FRN stands for. You have a metal bolster, metal guard, and it's a double-sided guard, so it goes up and on the downside. So, you know, in terms of thinking of the applications of this knife, perhaps in a fighting context or in, you know, deep plunge stabs or anything like that, really aggressive, heavy use, this is going to protect you better than rubber or FRN would. FRN's pretty rugged stuff, but rubber, you know, obviously for sure, rubber can be compromised pretty easily. Again, always with SOG, you've got great finger choils, you've got excellent grip material on the handle. This thing just feels secure, and you know what? More so than the Seal Pup and Seal Pup Elite, possibly because of handle material, possibly because I believe this is a what would this be called? A hidden tang, I guess it would be. Or maybe a through tank. Somebody help me out with that. Is this technically hidden or through? It does have, this is obviously a pommel, and it's, you know, some kind of bolt down there. So I assume that's the threaded tang. I don't really know. If it's not coming out the backside, somebody help me. In any case, this one, unlike those, just feels much more, it's heavier. Granted, it's a bigger knife, but the steel feels different. So, you know, you can look at the shape of this has got kind of this medial ridge kind of design, or at least a grind on both sides of the center, and it's a beefy knife, guys. This is pretty thick steel. I'd say this is, you know, pretty close to a 1/4 inch. It's just about a 1/4 inch blade stock, and you don't feel the thickness of it the way you necessarily would with a knife that has a spine that's a 1/4 inch. You feel kind of light and flashy with it, but at the same time you feel that meatiness kind of backing it up. So anyway, like I said, I'm gonna let Michael do all the reviewing because that's not my gig. But I really like this knife. It's very cool, and I also like having a little space afforded here for your finger to safely get up there and choke up. The only thing I would wish in the case of choking up is that there was a better place to put your thumb, because you're pretty much guaranteed to just serrate yourself to death there. So anyway, it's a really interesting design. I really like it, and it was a lot of fun to work on these 3 designs. Now, as far as the retention goes, again, nice click in, no rattle, no play, and very easy ballistic one-handed draw. What I really enjoy about this one, the retention feels super secure, but at the same time, it's really easy to unseat it. Now, I don't really understand totally why this motion here, I'm really shaking the crap out of that, guys, and it's not moving, yet it's just such a light push, possibly because when you push on just one side, you're actually spreading the mouth apart, so it's loosening in both a forward, overcoming the retention point kind of way, as well as widening out and lessening how much the sheath can possibly grip the knife. But in any case, I really enjoy this one. And so sheath and knife, this is my favorite of the 3. But why don't you guys comment down below, let me know what your favorite one is, and also let me know what your favorite SOG knife is. I'd really be curious to have that conversation. Do you like SOG knives? Why not? And what's your favorite one if you do like them? I think for me, I'm probably still on maybe the SOG Pentagon or the Seal Pup series there. Probably the Elite's my favorite one, but you know, I love a lot of SOG's products. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Also, again, please go check Michael's channel out, Mr. Rexu. Have a nice day, all that good stuff. He's a good dude. He's a infantry veteran, so pay him a little bit of respect. Go over there, subscribe to his channel, subscribe to his Instagram. Maybe contact him on Facebook, something like that. He's a great guy to work with. He's a good dude to talk to, hilarious, just kind-hearted, and I really enjoy working with him. So thanks again, Michael, for another project. I really enjoyed doing this one, and I hope you guys enjoy this video as well as some of his content. And once again, go check that out. So, all right, guys, if you like these knives, if you like these sheaths, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you like the channel, I ask you to subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when I upload new content, and of course, share this out to all your buddies. Really appreciate you guys tuning in for this one. Stick around for the next one. God bless.